Poverty alleviation has been one of the top priorities for the Chinese government. In the past 5 years, the country has spent more than 280 billion yuan or $44 billion in fighting poverty and has reduced its poor population by 68 million. But these achievements are not enough for Chinese leaders as they aim to put an end to poverty by 2020. One of the toughest challenges facing the country is how to make minority groups more prosperous while keeping their tradition and culture intact. The groups still have more than 14 million people living under the poverty line, or around 1/3 of the country's poverty-stricken population. This is actually an area where targeted policies could play a bigger role, as each group has its own tradition and culture. The Minister of the State Council leading Group Office of Poverty Alleviation and Development, Liu Yongfu, gives a brief on the details.
Looking forward, we will cement all of those achievements we have made in the past years. For example, we will continue to hit the targets and the standards need to be well preserved. We also need to be committed to implementing the national government's arrangements and all of the mechanisms and systems. We need to have targeted poverty alleviation, and such a guideline needs to be upheld along all the years. And under the leadership of the central government, we need to further improve our mechanisms and policy-making process, and we need to innovate all of these efforts and measures in order to deepen the efforts of poverty alleviation in the poor areas.
Let's now get the latest, and I'm joined live by Wang Hui, live in Beijing. What are the key highlights from Wednesday's two sessions?
Well, today, 3 news press conferences were held. The heads of China's Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Finance, and the State Council leading Group Office of Poverty Alleviation and Development answered the journalists' questions. 2 questions relevant to Africa were raised at the press conference with the Minister of Agriculture, Han Changfu. A reporter from Gambia asked what Africa can learn from China in food self-sufficiency. The minister said that China has taken a series of measures to ensure food safety. It has made great efforts to facilitate the mechanization of farming and the construction of irrigation and water conservancy. Han said China has also cooperated with several African countries on food production. It has established the promotion and demonstration center of agriculture technology in 14 African countries. China also sent many experts to the continent to train people and invited many agricultural officials and technicians here. China has also provided agricultural machinery, chemical fertilizer, and pesticide to African countries. Han said China intends to continue its cooperation with Africa. A Sierra Leone reporter also asked if it's true that some of China's so-called plastic rice was exported there. The minister said that China's rice is safe and there is no such so-called plastic rice at all.
Now, China has been cooperating with African countries through the Belt and Road Initiative, which was also mentioned today. What more can you tell us about this?
Yes, 2 press conferences addressed the Belt and Road Initiative. The director of the State Council leading Group's Office of Poverty Alleviation and Development was asked whether the initiative can help with the poverty alleviation. The director, Liu Yongfu, said that the initiative helps participating countries develop economically and socially together. They can also cooperate on poverty alleviation under this framework. Meanwhile, the Chinese Minister of Finance also touched upon the Belt and Road Initiative. He said China and another 26 countries agreed on the Belt and Road financing guiding principle covering Asia, Africa, Europe, and Latin America. The agreement will help resolve bottleneck problems with financing and strengthen cooperation among the finance ministers of these countries. Just one heads up for you. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi will hold a press conference tomorrow. Probably we will hear more on international issues, including those issues involving Africa. Back to you.
All right, Wang Hui joining us there from Beijing. Thank you.